Good evening, everyone. All right. Good evening, everybody. I am so glad that you are here. Just to be double sure, I want to know if you are hearing me. Sorry, I've been so busy trying to set things up. If you can hear me, just try to type, I can hear you. Will not waste time at all. I want to be sure you are hearing me. Please type, I can hear you. I want to be sure you are hearing me. I want to welcome, okay, thank you so much. I'm already seeing your messages to confirm that you are hearing. Okay. All right, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you can hear me. I want to wish you a compliment of the season. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas in arrears and Happy New Year. Interestingly, it's just 3 days to the new year, and I'm so glad that we can convene and have this life-changing meeting. It's going to be straight to the point. It's going to be very interactive, and I won't be boring you with too many theories and all that. I want it to be as practical as possible. I want us to be real. A lot of things that I'm going to be talking about are things that we already know, but this event is just to remind us of a lot of them and to see how we can get better, getting our goals set for the new year. 2022 is a year that is loaded, and we need to approach it differently. We need to be prepared. We need to get our goals set. So sorry about that. Okay, so I muted everybody. Okay, so sorry. Okay, I think I have control of it now. So sorry about that break in transmission. I actually unmuted everyone. When it's time, we'll talk and contribute. But now we may not be able to mute ourselves. So straight to the point, talking about goals. A lot of us have had it up about goals. Goals are those things that we want to achieve. They are things we want to do. They are things we plan. But then beyond having it as goals, how do we make it a reality? And that's the idea of this now. Turning your goals to reality, getting your goals set for the new year, which is 2022. Before I get started, I want to welcome each and every one of us. Mr. Enjoyment, thank you for joining. Danny K, thank you. Tosin Ajayi, it's here. Thank you for joining. Omidele Oluwasegun, thank you for joining. Some people are still coming, but we'll get straight to the point. Mrs. Okeke, Olive, thanks for coming. Spring of Surprises event. That should be Sister Jumoke. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad, I'm so excited that we are here. So straight to the point, just like I said, I want this to be more interactive. I don't want to bore you with a lot of theories and all of that because this is not a lecture room. It's a place where we can learn and share also, because nobody is an island. So straight to the point, when we talk about goals, there are those things I want to achieve actually. I'm sure you've had this example that if you are playing football or any game, but let's say football, for example, if you are living and you don't have goals, it's like playing football without a goal post. It's like playing any game whatsoever without taking notes. It's like playing any game without taking notes, without having a score. I can't remember if any of us have ever played a game and you are not even keeping scores. Any game, draft, or let me just zero in like some of the games we play on our phones, Candy Crush. I'm very sure that a lot of people who have reached the level they are with Candy Crush, if they never documented anything about, if they never documented the Candy Crush or any of those things, if the game didn't have a score or a level that you reach per time, I'm very sure a lot of people will have actually opted out. It will be so boring. And that's the same way life can be. Life without growth becomes so boring. And the year just ended. We can't afford to pass the new year the same way we lived 2021. Though 2021 came with a lot of challenges, it imported coronavirus from 2020, from 2019. I think late 2019, that was when we started hearing about COVID, and that is why they tagged it COVID-19. Yeah, COVID-19. So this 2022 that we are talking about, we can't afford to allow previous years, most especially the 2019, 2020, 2021 that we are still in, to affect the 2022. And this is why we must actually plan, we must actually set goals. And I'm sure we've had a lot of things about goals before. Just like I said, this event is just to remind us about some of them. You've heard before that your goal should be smart, it should be simple, it should be measurable, attainable, realistic, it should be timed. And I really don't want to dwell too much on those things because a lot of time we can be so carried away with a lot of those theories that what of the practical? How real is this thing we're talking about? How realistic? So when we talk about goals, there are 5 questions. I'm trying to lay a foundation. Just I'll share briefly, then we rub minds. There are 5 questions we must ask ourselves. The number 1 question is that, what do I want to do? As when you're trying to set goals, like you want to set goals, you want to make it realistic. Just like I said, your goals are those things that you want to achieve. You want to get married in 2022. You want to have your own baby. You want to travel out, maybe on business trip or vacation or something. Is a goal. Or you want to write a book, is a goal. Or you want to climb the ladder in your organization, is a goal. So what do I want to do is the first question you want to ask yourself. And this first question will actually guide you in what to write down. I would go through them there. I would talk about what we should do. Then the second question is that, what do I want to be? What do I want to be? We have dreams. I remember a lot of us as a child, we have a childhood dream, what you want to be. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, But of course, we are adult now, and I tell you, when we say what do you want to be, is not just, is beyond having something completely new. It may be new, and it may be a development of what already exists. What do I want to be? Like COVID-19 actually turned me into a media person. I wasn't really, so because of the church I attend, I do a lot of IT stuff, but the COVID-19 actually brought out the media part of me. So that's what I'm trying to say. What do you want to be? There are situations that turn us to certain things that we really didn't plan to do, but because we are actually living our life the way it should, we are making sure that whatever our hand finds to do, we do. In the process of doing whatever our hand finds to do, we discover more of ourselves, and we tend to answer this question of what do I want to be. 2 years ago, I didn't know I'll be here and there live streaming events. I didn't know I will have my own media company. I was more into digital marketing, though that was not even what I studied. The next question is, what do I want to see? What you want to see is also very vital. When we say, what do I want to see? It's actually something that will help us to really achieve our goals better. What do I want to see? What you want to see will determine the kind of goal that you set. Then, what do I want to have? A lot of us are in this category because I do events so much. I A lot of things I want to have. I want to have my own equipment. I want to have, though I've started having some, like I have my own laptop, for example. I have my internet. I have my phone. I have a tripod, and there I see a lot of things I want to have. I want to have my own camera. I want to have my own lenses. I want to have my own car, because being mobile helps a whole lot. Especially someone who does it. Thank God, Spring Surprises is here, and I'm sure she can really relate with what I'm talking about. And we have MC Sheyi Okiwale, my very good friend. Thank you for joining us. So just like some of us before we came in asking a lot of questions, I said there are 5 questions you need to ask yourself if you want to set proper goals. I didn't want to bore you with too many things about goals. There are things we know already. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to see? What do I want to have? And I was on that before I welcomed some of us. Yeah, so sorry, they just too far. You may not see my face clearly. Okay, let me just briefly turn my camera off. So what do I want to do? What do I want to be? These are some of the questions that we can answer, we can ask ourselves, and it's very important. It's very vital that we get to answer some of these questions, because if you don't, someone says if you don't answer the right question, there is no way you can really achieve what you want to achieve. So we need to ask ourselves some of these questions. I want to please ask for permission. Let me please hold on while I power my generator. So sorry. I'll be back shortly, please. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for staying tuned. So sorry for the break in transmission. I had to power my generator and all that. So sorry for the delay, but it's good to be back. I look forward to a day where in Nigeria would have 24 hours electricity. So just like I was sharing, I said there are 5 questions we need to ask ourselves. These questions are so vital. Okay, I'm trying to add someone. The questions are so, okay. So the questions are so vital that we need to ask ourselves. So the questions are so vital that we need to ask ourselves, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to have? And I've done that before our electrical company took light. I don't know if it's so. Where do I want to go? There are places we want to go as person, as individual, because we are people, and we keep moving, we keep migrating from one place to another. Where do I want to go on vacation or this and that? And when you are able to answer these 5 questions, that is when you can actually set a long-term goal and a short-term goal. Yeah. So goals are very document them. Okay, let me share an example. I observe that anytime I go for events, to live stream events, either for a corporate organization or individual wedding or something, most times the kind of network that we use in those places is determined by the strongest network in the area. Like there was a time I was in Ijebu to live stream a very event for like 2 days. And I had my MTN, I had my Airtel, but what determined the network I used to live stream the event was the strongest. I did a speed test. What I'm trying to say in essence is I have a goal that okay, the next time I will do another event, I was going to buy a dedicated MTN line. I have 2 Airtel lines, so I don't have a problem. My MTN is my main line. So one of the events, I think it was Ijebu, then another one at GRA. I had to remove my MTN SIM. I had to remove my MTN SIM and put inside my router. You know, the router will give a stronger. And I discovered that I actually missed a lot of calls, vital calls. A lot of people try to reach me. Now, I actually set a goal that in the next event, I would go to MTN office, preferably, and buy a new MTN line. So that if I get to an event and MTN and Airtel are strong network, sorry, either MTN is a strong network, I won't have to remove my main line and put in my router. But guess what happened? For months now, I've not been able to do one or the other. I also discovered that the reason why I've not been able to achieve that goal is because I didn't write it down. And up till now that I'm actually sharing with you is while I was praying for this event, I remember what are the goals I actually set recently, like short-term goals that I've not been able to achieve. And I remember that, okay, this is one of it. So what I did was that I wrote it down. I didn't just write it down, I also entered it in a mobile, as in an app that I use on my phone. And I actually set a reminder because we are all busy people. We can't actually store everything in our brain. This is why it's always good to document any goal that we have. Write it down. Okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to see? What do I want to have? Where do I want to go? And when we are able to list some of it, so you can now put a time to it. You can put you can ask yourself other questions that is, at what time do I want to go to this place? What are the resources that I need? How do I get there? who do I need to support me in social areas? So these are some of the things that can help us. So you can have a 1 year goal, 5 year goal, 5 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But we should be careful that we don't set too long goals that we lose sight of the current goals. Imagine I have a lot of other goals, but as simple as getting a new SIM for my router was, I didn't do it because it was not part of my written goals. And this is what I'm talking about. Even as we're trying to have long-term goals, we should not lose sight of short-term goals. Yeah, we should be careful we don't lose sight of short-term goals. And when we are able to put all of this together to answer the 5 questions, that's when you can even build something on them. Okay, what do I want to do? You write all those things down, then you can sieve them. You can actually select which one is important, which one is less important, which one is not important at all. And that's what we're talking about, setting your goals right. You see, you need to ask yourself a lot of deep questions that will help you see your goals clearly. Deep questions. Okay, I just give you an example, short-term goal I was looking at. So I need to ask myself, okay, where do I need to get this? Because of the NIN thing, I know registration here, there is, I think it's a bit difficult getting the SIM just anywhere. Before now, you can actually walk down the street somewhere and just register it for you and all of that stuff. These days, I don't know how easy it is. So it's been on my mind, okay, I want to go to maybe a city mall or somewhere, MTN office that is closer. You get. So when we set goals, your goal can be that you want to write, and you can actually ask yourself, what do I want to write about? How long, how many chapters do I need to write per day? Your goal can be that you want to reach more clients. Some industry. I actually wrote down a goal that, okay, apart from live streaming events, I want to also start covering other events. And of course, I have team that I work with. I've actually handled a lot of events, burial, birthdays. But the only event I've not, as in that I've not done personally, like our company, because I have a company, is wedding. And I said to myself, okay, in order to achieve this goal in 2022, what do I do? And one of the things I said to myself and I wrote down while reviewing the organization goal was that we might need to do a free wedding. We might. I'm just saying we might. And or do a promo. Because you know, when you're trying to achieve something like something for the first time, you look for every ways to do it. You like the goal is to make sure, okay, we shoot a wedding, at least a wedding first. When you're able to do one, it serves as a proof for every other one. Editing the video is not a problem. Doing, because these are things we've done for a lot of other organizations, as in a lot of senior friends, let me say. So achieving is not a problem. Like, okay, I observe that even events generally, like someone is always an MC, you observe that the people that get bulk of the event, thank God we have an event planner here. The people that get, I'm just checking the list, okay, spring event is still here. The people that get bulk of the event are the event planners. Yeah, event planners. For example, imagine that you event planners are not, as in, it's not just about knowing people really. In 2022 is a year that I believe is not just about knowing people or having number. It's about who knows you, basically. So I said to myself when I was reviewing the goal of Rush's Pro Media, which is our company that is into event live streaming, video coverage, and all of cinematography. Let me use that switch word. I observed that event planners are the ones that get both of it. So recently, personally, because it's a young company and I really don't have anyone on full-time role, I only have guys that I call and we shoot together. I have guys who, of course, who have been trained and I also learn on the job, but not on the job in code. But of course, we still learn. There's always something to learn. But I have guys who are like part-time, and anytime there's anything, we call them and they make it happen. So one of the goals is to recently was that, okay, social media is powerful. Apart from posting videos or tagging ways, I observed that event planners get more control. So one of the things I did was that I actually researched about hashtag like event planning or event planners, and I was able to actually check through a lot of event planners on Instagram, DM some of them, some would not respond. WhatsApp got some of them, got their number, some of them right, yeah, and they have sent message to some. Some will say, okay, send me SMS. Some will say that. But then the next step that we're planning to take it is to start calling them, like, but beyond just calling them, you need to build a rapport with them, build relationship, as in, like, when I say rapport, like, create a presence. We tag them in your posts, in our posts, and some of I'm just trying to be more practical with us. This is why I'm going in this direction, talking about goal setting. I'm using an example of my own organization and what we're trying to do, because we're actually young. It's actually an organization that COVID-19 actually gave birth to. When COVID-19 gave birth to something for you. So I'm just like, some of us are just coming in. I've shared a whole lot and talking about goal setting, talking about how to achieve your goal. Like, when you have a goal and you want to achieve it, you must be dogged. You must be ready to go all the mile. You must never take a no for an answer. The world is a global village, truly, but how well are you making the most of it? Are you taking advantage? I believe strongly that there is nobody I want to meet that I cannot meet. There is nobody I want to connect with and I cannot connect with them. While I was a student, I organized student events. I brought a lot of people. I brought senators, House of Rep members. I brought a lot of people in different key industries in Nigeria. And social media was the key. It was not possible to meet any of them physically or anything, but of course, it was easy to write people. Twitter was actually the easiest. I hope that our president would just free Twitter for us, because I observed that all the who are on Twitter and they have their own personal account. Like, what I'm trying to say is that, for example, Donald Trump, of course. Donald Trump Twitter. I am yet to see an account, a Facebook account of Donald Trump that is not a page. If it's a page, different. Of course, you need to have a Facebook account that's a personal profile to have a page. So there was a time I actually did a research and I observed that to get a lot of these high profile people, most times you need to tweet at them. That was when Twitter was still, Twitter is still there anyway. With VPN, you can use Twitter. Now, what I'm trying to say is that it was easier that way. So I didn't even bother myself checking them out on Facebook or writing them on their Facebook pages, because sometimes they are not the ones that even manage, but a lot of them tweet. And this is one method I use in getting someone like Dele Momodu, someone like, there was a time we did a student event, tried to bring Dele Momodu. I think he did not make it down. We brought Dino Milai, we brought Tolo Gulesi, a lot of people, and for an event. And it was a great success, I tell you. And it was recently I was going through a chat and I observed that one of the real estate gurus in Nigeria, I don't know if you know Landway, Landwey. I was checking our chat and I observed that the same event we once put together, when I was a student, I put together, he also applied for it. Though it didn't come eventually, but he applied, of course. I think we chose him, something happened with him, but at least he got to know about the event, he applied. The guy is doing so fine today, and It's just an example of what can happen on social media. A lot of good things can happen. So they are the bad, they are other side, they are the pros and cons of it that we see, but then we have to actually not close our eyes to the bad side of it and just realize that okay, anything can happen. Then beyond goal setting, I also want to actually share with us about ideas. I've done a lot of videos about ideas. I said ideas are capital. The real capital is the idea. I observed that you can actually start anything you want to start with just an idea. It's not that easy. Let's be realistic. We need money to start a business, but sometimes it's just the idea. What we need in most cases is just a place to get started or platform to leverage on. Like when I started my own media company, I didn't have, if I up to now, I don't have equipment. It's just leverage. Okay, for example, I do a lot of stuff for my church. I live stream events, blah blah blah. The church has the equipment. So every of the idea that I had, I could practicalize the idea in church. Now, when it was now time to turn it into business, it was easier because I've done some track. Okay, so during the lockdown, my pastor once used it to preach in one of his messages that a young man started a new business during the lockdown. The first event I streamed, like I started streaming officially, was my pastor's baby's ceremony. Yeah. So I was there, went with the equipment, not my own equipment. The only equipment that if I didn't even, then my laptop was not in shape. Okay, we got equipment anyway to use, camera, this and that. And I streamed the naming ceremony successfully on Zoom, just like this, but not with phone like this, but with gadgets, camera, light, microphone. It was the first event. After then, I've done a lot of events. I'm telling you, I've done events that it's in hundreds of thousands, as in charge someone you've not seen before, someone I've not seen, just contacted us via social media. Okay, we saw your contact. We did a stream for someone, and they saw us through that and strike the deal. And I'm just trying to give example of goal setting, how we can achieve goals that sometimes we really don't need everything we want to achieve. As in, we really don't need to have every of the equipment that we need to have. Sometimes we need to just uh, submit ourselves to someone who is doing fine in the industry. There is nothing we want to do that is new, really. We may just have to sit down and say, okay, who is this person that is fine? How can I get this? How can I just service this? Through that, you get your idea, you get your experience, and these are things you need. So I said, to achieve any idea you have, I'm gradually switching to ideas now. You need to document your idea. You need to, any idea you have, document it, write it down, and gradually it's easier to run with the idea when you document it. Because any idea that you don't document, it's easy for you to lose it. Yeah, it's very easy. Uh, you can write it down in your notepad. You can save it somewhere in your email. You can get like half and half on your phone. There are a lot of apps. I can recommend some that you can use to document your idea. In fact, most phones already have notes, notepad, or not of those images and other things that you use to document your idea. The main purpose is that you don't want to just put it on the paper and something happens to the paper, anything can happen. But when you have it online, it's still safer. Because if you don't document your idea, any idea you have, you can easily lose it. You can even forget. When I say forget, you can forget the details of it. And the next thing is you have to nurture your idea. You have to care and protect your idea. It's not possible for a mother who just gave birth to a baby, just abandon the baby or just give the baby to just anybody. Because the stage the baby is the stage of nurture. Yeah. The stage the baby is the stage of nurture. So you have to nurture your idea. You have to care for your idea. You have to protect your idea. Guard jealousy. Protect it. Yeah. Then we have to research more about, when we say we have ideas, we know in parts, actually. We know in parts, like there are a lot of new things I get to see, new cameras, new streaming gadgets. Like I have an event tomorrow and next. It's not my direct event. Like I have some event that I direct, I have some event that I handle for my organs, like my senior friends. But they know because they know that my core area is live streaming for events. And because I serve them, because I connect with them in one way or the other, I've been able to stream event for GT Bank. The GT Bank autism conference. I was the one that live streamed it, as the setup here and there and so many stuff. Last week we were at Flour Mill to live stream events. I'm talking about an award ceremony. Their chairman is a white guy. A lot of their directors were not around there, outside the country, and they joined on Zoom like this. We set up a lot of equipment, like 3 cameras, mixer, this and that. But those things are not even the main point. The main point was that they had only a few staffs on ground because their employee award. We did it last year, and this year we're able to also do it. What I'm trying to say is that some of those things require a lot of expertise. That's why I tell you need to keep researching about your idea. You need to keep learning about any idea you have. Keep learning about it. And ideas that come to our mind are always based on the things that we do. Yeah, the things that we do. That's why I said whatever thing that your hand finds to do, just do it. Just make yourself available. And you don't even know. I have people who started just maybe doing voiceovers, maybe in church or wherever, and took it to another level, went for courses in radio stations, and today the MC events, do a lot of things. So basically, ideas are the capital themselves. And a lot of us are doing fantastic things already. We have to start thinking, okay, in 2022, I need to take it to another level. What do I need to do? Who do I need to meet? Remember, it's not just those that you know that matters. It is the people that knows me. I want more people to know me. I'm sure it's the same thing for a lot of us. I'm wrapping up already so that we can actually interact. The people that knows you are even more important, because those are people that will recommend you out there and say, okay, I know someone who is an MC. He MC this event, he did this, did that. I know someone who is a DJ. I know someone who is an event planner. I know someone who drives very well. I know someone who speaks well. I know someone who does events. I know someone who does animation and anything you can think of. I know someone who sells clothes and all that and can send it to anywhere in the world. That is what we're talking about. The people that knows us. And this is why we must try to create a good impression with people that we meet. Good impression. Because it's that impression we create that lasts longer. And that's why we need to start thinking about customer service. We need to start thinking about how to make things better. I don't want to be too focused on business. But when we talk about goals is encompassing, career goal, business goal. Okay, lastly, or in the finance, before I start answering questions or getting our feedbacks and additions, financial goals is one thing that you can't shy away from. You need money. Yeah, you need money. And for you to make money, you need to suffer. You need to have more. This thing they used to say that we should have more stream of income is real. Is real. Before I started live streaming events, covering event, birthday, burial event, this one, that one. I do websites, I do digital marketing, all of the stuff. I've written books, but I observed that digital marketing part and website was not really forthcoming like that. Like I think during the COVID time, it wasn't for. But I was happy that okay, I had another idea that no matter the situation, people will still need, even if it's to consult for them and say, okay, how do we do this? How do we do that? About media, on live streaming, camera, anything, church setup, event setup, anything like that. And how did I even get all this experience of this? Is YouTube. So YouTube is our friend. Like there's an app I use now, and talking about financial plan, financial growth, because if you don't even document uh, your spending, your income, your expenditure, it will be very, very difficult for you to make projection into the new year. Okay, this is what you want to spend, this is what you want to achieve. Like I have an app. There's so many of it, but there's one I use that, see, from the time I started using the app, I think from January I started using the app, I wrote down, every day I write down my spending and the amount that come in. Every day I write down my spending and the amount that come in. And just like I said, I want this training to be very practical. This expository session to be practical. I don't necessarily see that training. But that app, I can tell you now how much I spent yesterday, how much I spent today, the amount that came in, if there's any. I know how much I've spent this year. Though, you know, it's normal. They said expenditure, we always try to catch up with income. I spent more than I earned, as in earned personally. You know, I said I have company. So there is the money for business, as in anytime we get business, the money goes into business account, of course. I run 2 companies. But somehow I observed that I actually personally, because there's some money that comes to me personally. If you call me for events and you don't involve my company, it comes to me personally. Like someone say, okay, KCB, we want to stream events. I'm talking about, okay, let's say like tomorrow I'm streaming event for my senior colleague, my guy, tomorrow and next. That money doesn't go to the company because it's a personal store. I see it as personal. That's just the way I categorize it. But there were 2, like last month, at a stadium, my company was consulted to handle an event. It was a 5-camera event shoot for the gospel artist. So they did like an album recording, live recording. So we went there, set up the equipment, all of those stuff. That one is a company project, and the money went into. In fact, that one, I ensured that the money went into the company account. So what I'm trying to say is that because I have that app, I'm able to know how much is for the cousin. The company has an account, I have an account, the second company too has an account. So I have an amount. I know the amount I've spent this year. If I buy pure water, I'll put it. If I buy a pen, I'll put it. If I buy a drink, it's there, everything. Maybe during the course of this, before we wrap, I will show you so that you know that it's real. It's not no theory, is practical, and it has really helped me to know my worth, to have a projection of okay, you know, anytime I pay my rent, I put it down. Okay, let me even share this with you. Okay, you know, Lagos State government was already talking about okay that tenants will be paying monthly. I hope they are able to achieve that. But my own landlord collects 3 months. So the money is divided into 3 months. Yeah. And I pay him. So every time I pay him, I put it down. Every time I buy water, I put it down. I buy data, Airtel 5,000, I put it down. Tissue paper, I put as in every detail. You know, you go to the mall and you buy stuff, and they enter everything to you, as in for you, everything in a row. Water, tissue, Jago mayonnaise, everything is listed. They now summarize it. In fact, so when I get home, no matter how long the list is, anytime I buy it, I put everything down, as in I write it in that app. So at the end of the month, I know how much has gone into electricity, how much has gone into Loma, how much has gone into data, how much has gone into food, especially food. So it's part of goal set. So the next year, it's easy for me to set goals and say, okay, this is the budget I want to put for this. In fact, when you set goals properly, when you document everything in that category, it helps you to plan better and it helps you to even have budget for the coming year. So finance is actually key. And those of us that want to get married, if you saw my status, I was sharing about family function I went yesterday. A lot of them were literally asking, when are you going to get married? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, it's true. We need to get married. I'm like, okay. It's always been part of my goal, but and I write it down actually. But you know, even when we write it down, it's not just money most times that makes those things work. Sometimes I could Bible a lot. Those of us who are not like can two work together except they agree? It's not possible. I can't marry myself, basically. So what I'm trying to say is that okay. So when I'm writing the goal for that, I break it down. This that over time I've observed that kind of project requires money, honestly, and it should be part of the goal. But then it should not be just because I don't know how we do it in Africa. That anytime we are doing event, I've observed that anytime there's an event, there's party or something, you don't just know where the money will come from. The money will just come somehow. I don't know how the magic come because, but it doesn't mean that one should not plan or you should not have your own money for anything you want to do. Definitely, we must have it. But somehow, some of those things just come. But we must have goals. We must have goals. We must document our ideas. We must nurture it. We must research. We must write down our goals. We must break our goals down into, just like we've learned before, short-term goals, long-term goals, and all of those things. And this is why we can really hit the nails on the head. Let me stop at this juncture so that I can take some contribution from us because I want it to be interactive. So I'm trying to unmute us, or better still, just to make sure things are in orderly manner. We don't have noise at the background. If you have a question, you can actually please put it down. I'll try to answer it. Or if you have a contribution, something to say about some of these things, talking about the new year. Just like I said, the new year will be a digital year. I don't know if I said that correctly. It will be a digital year, and it will be a year of who knows you actually. So you can just raise your hand if you have something to say, you have a question, or you have something to contribute, so that we can wrap up this. We spend almost an hour now, and I think we said it to be 1 hour. Yeah. So you can just raise your hand, or you can type whatever you want to say, so that I can unmute you and you can say something. Or if you have a question, you can type anyone. Please, let's ask our question. Chine, ask your question. Okay, Adini, I think this should be Mr. Debowade. Bayode, okay. Portia's Fabrics, Manuel Enjoyment. Do we have questions? Do we have something to share about some of these things? We want to learn from you too. Or you can just give a feedback on some of the things I've actually mentioned, just to be sure. Maybe I should just ask everyone to unmute. What I didn't want to happen is happening.
Exactly.
Okay, Mr. Emmanuel. Hello. Okay. I think Social Jai has sent something to chat. Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Tosin. I'm really glad. This is a very good feedback. I'm really glad that those questions
If you
means a
don't come,
lot to
Mr.
you.
Emmanuel.
Thank you so much for the feedback. I really appreciate. Okay, I think someone is saying something, or someone wants to say something. Okay, I'm trying to check the chat. If you are shy, you can just type something anyway. But I really look forward to getting our feedback. Yeah, the chat. Okay. Thank you so much. Spring event. Yeah, it was worth the while. Okay, good evening. This is from Bayo de Maiwa. Good evening. Thanks so much for this. I need an enlightenment on the kind of goal that should be long or short, excluding marriage. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me try and answer that. He said he needs an enlightenment on the goals that should be short and the goals that should be long. Yeah. All right, let me answer it in this way. Now, when you are able to answer the questions, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to see? What do I want to have? Where do I want to go? In fact, so under those 5 questions, you can put down all your goals, as in whichever one, like you want to see the pyramid in Egypt, put it down there. Okay, what do I want to see? I want to see the pyramid in Egypt. Okay, what do I want to do? Okay, I want to write a new book, just for example. Put it down. Just put as many things as you can put down. You can even tabulate this thing. This, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to see? What do I want to have? Where do I want to go? You can tabulate it. Once you tabulate it, you can put down all the ideas that is coming to your mind for 2022, the things you want to achieve. Now, when you put it down, under each one, you can have up to 3 to 5. Like if you have 3 for each one, that means you have 15. Then when you have 15 goals, you can now categorize them based on necessity. Okay, which one is for short term? As in, simply from on your own mind, you can even know which one is short term, which one is long term. Now, one of the ways to determine which one is long term is the resources available to you. I just told you that I entered a new industry. I think it's in 2020, and I've registered the company. One of the goals was to make sure I have a company, get it registered, have a business account. Now, because I know that registering a business is, if I want to do it myself, because it's a business name, it's cheap. I don't need more than 10,000, 10, 15,000, 10,000 to register it. And the 10,000 naira is majorly for the filing. Now, I know that, okay, to achieve this, I can do it within 2 weeks. So I did it within, in fact, 1 week. The first thing I did, in fact, so let me add this before I forward. Talking about the short and long term goal is that for as many of us who have goals to have a business registered or to patent our idea or to register a particular name, let me say this, that if your business is not registered, it doesn't limit you. As a matter of fact, there's something we call, that is called name availability. With CAC, Corporate Affairs, you can register, you can do a name search with 500 naira. They give you 2 options, 2 names. Now, If the two names are not available, you can do another search, as in you can coin another name. Yeah. Before you even come up with a name, you can do it. You can go to their site and check their directory to see all the names. As in, not all. You don't have to check all the names. Sorry. If the name you are looking at is if the name you are looking at registering is Zoom, for example, you can search it on their platform. Now, when you do a search of the name, you will know if it's available. As in, you will know if someone already has that name. That's a kind of public search. That's what they call public search, so that you won't keep wasting your money. Now, once you do that, you can, okay, you have is not part of the public search to actually search. You can now go ahead with two names, register it. In fact, once you have your name approved, they reserve it for 90 days. Yeah, they reserve it for 90 days. And for that 90 days, if you don't register it, that's when they make it public again. And you can actually try to register it again. But within 90 days, I believe that you should be able to raise the money to get the register. Yeah, that's just an example, talking about short-term goals. So I had the idea after I streamed the first event, and I knew that, okay, in order to brand the business, I needed to register it. I needed to have a business account. Those things don't limit, but in order to make your business corporate, the time goes. It will be a time that you will need it. Because, for example, one of the biggest events we got this year, someone knew about us. Okay, was a part of an event that we live streamed. So it was a burial event that we live streamed, and somehow some people were part of it, and their daddy also died. Their daddy was 90 plus. He died, and because they were part of the Zoom, they got to know about us. And another thing that is strategic that I do anytime we have event is that I make sure that the name that is appearing on the Zoom is the name of the company and there is a phone number. Or if that is not the case, I make sure that there is something maybe at Rush's Pro or something. Reason is that the person eventually searched for us on Instagram and found my number and did a WhatsApp call, and she was in UK, and that was how we got the business. But let me also tell you something about goals, why you need to set goals, and why you need to have multiple streams. Just like we've been hearing, in multiple streams is powerful. Okay, one of the websites that I did like 2 years ago, in fact, we've been on the website for like 2 years. They paid hundreds of thousands. It was like our biggest deal. But do you know that until now, they are still on that job? Why? Because the clients, they're currently building the jet and they want the details of the jetty on the side. They're always building something. And you can imagine having that kind of job. They've not even paid 100%. This is even why it's good to keep diversifying. For example, during the sunny period, the business you will do during that time should not be the same thing you're doing when it's raining. As in, rain and harmattan, for example, should be different kind of business. I'm not saying you should jump from one, you should be jumping from one thing to another. For those of us who are in the event, for example, you know that there is always events in Nigeria. If I one thing, if you're an MC, if you're an event planner, if you're a caterer, if you're a videographer, a photographer, that industry, because we are plenty, look at 200 people, we will always do wedding. They will always do naming ceremony. They always do burial. They will always do. Do you understand? So there will always be something to do. So when you list all those things, for those of us who are just joining, Ifeolu and I think so, two people came in. Ifeolu and someone came in, trying to look for the name. I think the person left already. So I mentioned 5 things. Sorry, I keep repeating those 5 things. We're wrapping up now. Don't forget, we said it's 7 to 8:30, so we'll stick to time. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want to see? What do I want to have? Where do I want to go? Now, once you put that, just do a tabulation, like do a tabulate. Maybe I'll do an example, like tabulate it. So under each one, and just be putting any idea that comes to your mind. So how do you know if this one is a short term or this one is a long term? Don't forget we said you can break down your goal into short or long. Realistically, you will know. Like, I want to buy a camera. I want to have my own personal cameras. Or let me just say, start with one. I have my own laptop. I have my own encoder. So if I'm live streaming an event, and there are some events that I live stream that I don't need to go with cameras. You already have camera, you just want me to come and stream it. So I'll just go with my laptop, my phone, my encoder. But if they want me to use camera, I rent. Sure you get. Now, what I'm trying to say is that if I have my own personal camera, there are a lot of things I watch. Now, I want to buy a camera, a very good camera. I'm talking about the handheld one, those ones that you can hold, those ones that photographers use, they are category. They also use it for video now, and there are category. I actually found out that cameras are very good camera is around $2,000, excluding the lens. Yeah, so I needed to use myself as a business example so that the person that asked the question that value they can get the answer. Now, $2,000. If you multiply that with the current rate, you know that's millions of that. Now I know that it's a goal I need to achieve. So realistically, because of the amount, if it was when $1 is 100 naira, 150, you know, the goal will come forward, as in the time frame for that goal can come forward. For example, if it's $2,000, $1 is like how much now? 500. Let's say 500, right? Am I right? So $1 is like 500. Now imagine that the camera I want to get is $2,000, right? So is over $1 million anyway. Yeah. Then talking about lens and all that. Now it's not that I don't have the million naira to just even if I have $1 million naira, for example, I don't have $1 million naira to just drop a camera now. Realistically. So what I will do is that it's part of what I want to have, but I will put it under a long-term goal. I can start saving for it. And that is where platforms like Piggyvest comes in. You know, on Piggyvest, you save money, and you can also convert your money to dollars. Do you understand? So you can, for example, dollar today can be 400, tomorrow it can be 500. When dollar is cheap, you can convert your money to dollars. And when it's expensive, you can decide to buy, or just keep it and use the money to buy whatever you want to buy. Because most time when you are buying things that are in dollars, it's best to buy them in dollars if you have it in dollars, because our exchange rate only God will help. So I will put that under a long-term goal, and I can start saving towards it. I can actually put it under a 6-month or a 1 month. But what will determine if it's a short-term or a long-term goal is the available income. I just told you of an app that I use. That the app, I use it to write every amount that comes in, and I will do a screen share very soon. Every naira that comes in, I put it down. I have on that app, there's an account for me, my 2 businesses. Now, talking about the cameras, I know it's a long-term goal, because even if I have the 1 million naira, I will most likely not put that cameras, except I watch my cash flow and I see that the rate at which I'm getting events is big. Some of my guys in the industry, they charge as high as 600,000, 700,000, 1 million for event. Okay, I will share the name of the app. Now, they charge as much as that for event. I'm talking about these guys, they do all the high profile events. Like this my guy is one that shot Dangote's daughter's wedding, Saraki daughter's wedding. All the who is who down Adenuga's daughter, all those high profile events. Now, those events, they are not, in fact, because I know his price list. They are the least, depending on what you want. You have some 600, 800, 1 point something. Do you understand? So if I'm getting an event, because I'm upcoming in that industry, I can't start charging that, but they are there. Now, if let's say I am at that category and I get an event for 600 or 800, to get a camera at 1 million will not be a problem. In fact, this my Oga, for example, I am not sure there is a Saturday that doesn't have an event. So imagine that some Saturdays he has 2 events. So let's say the least he charges 600, and 2 events is 1.2. Of course, because he has over time he has saved. Okay, no, let's assume that it's me because he has his own equipment. Let's assume that it's me now that I get 600, and let's say it's Saturday I get 2 events. That's 1.2. In a month, that 1.2 will become what? It will become 4.8. I can set a goal that in a month I will buy a camera, or even 2, depending. Or if I have access to loan, I can get a loan and use the money as collateral so that myself and their loans. It's just that Nigerian banks are not sincere to us. And loans are things that you should be able to share the risk with the person. Now, all those loans they give Dangote, they share both the risk and everything involved because it's Dangote. So what I'm trying to say is that I will categorize I need the camera now, sincerely, but the least is a million. If I have the million now, I can't put in. In fact, before I can buy a camera, there is a million. I must have like double of it. Or I can decide to be saving. There are 2 things entirely. So I can be saving towards it. If I discover that in a month I can spare 100,000, I can decide that okay, the goal of buying a camera, I would make it 10 months. So 100,000 per month, depending on the kind of events that I'm doing. As in, over time, you can judge based on your cash flow and how popular you are becoming in your industry, or how business is coming, or the number of clothes you are selling. Now, through that, you can actually say, okay, 100,000, I can make 100,000 conveniently in a month. I'm talking about excluding other things. The money will be, as in other things. So let's say you have 100,000 spare, so you can save it, or you can invest it, but be careful about investing so that you don't lose the money. But if you save in a place, like if it's, I don't know why I keep mentioning piggy bank, is one of the things that keep coming to my mind. You can put the money there, or you can put the money in fixed deposit. So if it's 100K per month, you can say 10 months. Is a 10 month. You can say the next goal. I can say the next goal is 10 months. 10 months is more like a long term plan. 10 months is almost a year. It's a long term plan. Okay, let me give an example. Some time ago, I saw an advert of an encoder. I wish I can lay my hands on it. That encoder, I don't have a camera, but I have a laptop. So I can rent it. If I have an event, I can rent a camera between 10 and 15,000, depending on the kind of camera. There's an encoder that I have. It looks like a USB. I wish I can lay my hands on it. That's why it's not going to be a battery. I said, why should go and bring it? So it's actually like a flash drive, and it's less than 5,000 naira. And If you know how many events I've used that for, because there are some events they just need one camera. Now, getting that one, when I saw the adverts, when I saw it, was a short-term goal because 4,000 naira now you get. So I can easily achieve that. That can be a short-term. So price the money alone can help you categorize something into short-term or long-term. Your cash flow, or yeah, basically you can use that, and you can use a lot of other factors to say, okay, this might go. Will it be long-term? Will it be short-term? To write a book, for example, should not be too long, no matter the volume. In fact, if you are writing a book, except you are so busy, you are writing an exam, you don't have time to sit down and write. And the book is now dynamic and ever. Just like I'm speaking now, I can just convert everything I'm doing here to a book. Years ago, I actually wrote a book on getting your goal set for the new year. If I'm able to lay my hands on it, I'll send it to all of us. Now, what I'm trying to say is that there are some goals that are short time. Like if I want to write a book now, if I don't have time to sit down and be writing, every available time that I have, and I have inspiration, I can get a recorder that I have on my phone. Every phone has a, but not every phone, you can download a recorder and record your voice. And just be recording. If you are in traffic, you can record and just be saying some of those things as they are coming. When you put everything together, you don't have time. Agreed. You don't have time. You can decide to on Fiverr. I don't know if you know about Fiverr. Fiverr is a place where you can sell your service. If you are somebody who does script writing, you are an artist, you sing, you can write letter, you can do Microsoft Word, you can do Excel, anything, any kind of skill. Now, there are people on Fiverr that for as low as $5, you give them the money, and they will help you convert that's your audio, all those your audios together into a script. And there are even some app that does speech to text that you can just pay. Some are free, some may not really do long. So I'm just doing examples. So before you know it, in 1 week, a book can be ready. I'm not talking about printing now. I'm talking about getting the book ready, soft copy, then putting on Amazon, all those stuff. So because the world, everything is now digital. So before you know it, in 1 week, 2 weeks, you can write a book. If you don't have time to start sitting down and writing. Do you understand? So you can actually categorize your goals into long-term or short-term, depending on the available resources and the skill set. Let's say you don't even have a system to type, or you can't even you can't type or anything sorry, the available skill set or the resources available. Those two things are even more can be used to categorize your goal into a long-term or into a short-term goal. Do you understand? I hope I've been able to answer your question. Let me check the chat to see. I'm so sorry if I dwelled too much on that question. Oh, thank you so much, Pressure. He said it's been an eye-opening section. I want to personally, I personally like some of what you mentioned, which is what I will work on in 2022. Great. Thanks for sharing this. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Chineye says, thank you very much for this platform, sir. I really do not have anything to ask, as you have already answered some of my questions. Okay. Boyede, Bayo, I don't know. I keep saying Boyede, sorry. Bayo de Mayowa says, yes, I am following. All right. Someone says, please, what's the name of the app? Okay, so there is the app. I don't just want to mention the name, because if I mention the name, you may not be able to identify it on Play Store. So what I will do is that I will send it over. I know on the message list I send, I will send a screenshot of the app, because if you go to Play Store and just search for the app, you may not really find it. You will find so many ones, but just to be sure it's the one I use, I will send a screenshot of it so that you can know it and download it. Okay. So I promise I'm going to send us or show us something. I hope you are with me. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show us the app. Maybe the name. I will do a, what do they call it now? I'll do a screen. I'll do a screen sharing. So I'll show you the app, and I'll show you how my December is. Talking about, I've not really done so many events in December, you know, festive season here and there. Okay, so I want to show you the app. I'm going to share my screen now. So hold on while I share my screen. Then I will show you my December, how much I earned, how much I've spent. Just to show you what I'm talking about. Though I'm not supposed to be showing you how much I earned. All right, screen share. Okay, so I think I'm trying to do a screen share. Where is, okay, let me, so sorry, I think it's because I'm using mobile. Oh yeah, now screen share now. It's like screen sharing on mobile is not too easy like that, because I'm trying to, how many of us can see my scroll? I want to be sure we are seeing it. Are we seeing my screen? Sorry, I'm trying to. Okay, I just did a scroll now. Did anybody see anything? Okay, you are with me. Okay, oh, please hold on. Let me. Okay, please type. Let me see if you saw anything. I'm trying to be sure. I'm actually using my mobile. But if I can switch back to my laptop, I think it'll be easier, because I'm clicking on share, and I think I need to enable. Okay, okay, start recording or casting with Zoom. Okay, because, okay, maybe I should search for the app. What's the name of the app? What's the name of this app? Savings or something. Please bear with me. Spending. It's asking me to grant a permission to the app, and so sorry. And I can't even find the app. Then maybe alphabetically. So sorry for this delay. I'm actually looking for the app. Um, okay, how many of us can see? Okay, am I sharing my screen already? I need you to help me if you saw Okay, not yet. Okay, someone said I'm not seeing anything. But the app is already telling me that I'm sharing something. Stop sharing. Okay, you can see, okay. Okay, I want to quickly stay here. Please, if you can see anything like income expenses, cash for mom, this one, that one, soup, petrol, transportation, fast food, so just so that I know you can see it. So that, did you see anything? Did you see? Please let me know. Did you see the app and the amount, the income, all those things? If you, okay, thank you for confirming. Yeah, so we can see. Let me go back there now. All right, so this is actually for learning purpose, not to show up. I've not started earning millions of naira anyway. I've not earned millions of naira. You can see up till Nescafe, Pepper, bar soap. There are times to just enter supermarket, just buy, like my body react to soap. So sometimes I just buy one, just to test. So buy soap, Panadol Extra, Pepper, people. I was supposed to buy a bag recently, Hollandia yogurt, akara, this one, yam, egg, this one, soft drink, granite, cash gift, granite, bread, amala, drugs. Okay. Okay, so I'm so glad that you saw it. It's like some people are in the waiting room. Who is in the waiting room? Okay. So I'm so glad that you saw that. I'm still sharing my screen anyway. So let me go back there. So the name of the app is actually called Spending. And just like I said, you may not really, you can see it in the Apple Store or iPhone Store, but you may not identify it except I share the logo. So the spending is, for example, I've not entered the amount I spent today, but before the end of this, maybe after this training, I will enter the amount I spent. For example, before this training, I actually bought petrol. So I'm entering petrol now, petrol. I'm just trying to be practical. I bought petrol of 800 naira today, 28th of December. I've entered it. Sorry. So sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Sometimes some of these app, there's always advice, except you pay for premium. Maybe that's what I'll just do. So I think I took a bike, yeah, to and fro. Usually I would not have incurred. I think these are the two amounts I've spent today because I didn't go out. Okay, so my data finished on my second line. And because I have an event tomorrow, I didn't want to just buy data because I want to get to the event and be sure of the network to buy so that I will not have to spend money twice. So on my MTN, I still have a lot of data, almost 10 gigs. So I have to do a binge plan on my Airtel as a backup for this training. So for data, I can search for data. Although I have entered some of these things already. So you understand. So that's why it's popping up. I did a binge plan of 500. All right, so let's come back. So that's the way it is. So I did a binge plan of 500 so that I can have 2 gig on Airtel while I maintain my 10 gig. Everything is planned. So because tomorrow I can get to event and realize that Airtel may not be strong at that venue. Okay, I will share the app logo, I promise. So Airtel may not be good at that venue. So I don't want to go and buy. Usually I would have done Airtel of 5,000 and get 40 gig. Why? Because it's 20 gig actually, but because they give bonus on my second SIM. So that is why. So I have to just do a binge plan, and also every amount I enter it. If I buy pen of 5 naira, I will enter it. You understand? So that is it. So at the end of the month, I have an idea. Then you see that the amount I've actually made this month is actually, in fact, the amount I've spent is even more than how much I've made. There are months that are different anyway. I think the reason why it was like that, because I had a family engagement yesterday and I had to spend money yet. So that's even what made the money to overshoot. So I had tag for everybody. So I have an idea of how much I've given my mom this year, how much I've given my dad, how much I've given her seed, how much you get. It's just to help in planning. It's nothing more. But I needed to just show us. So the only month I showed us is December. There is November. There is other month. In fact, I have the one. In fact, you can change the view to a whole year and see. I have an idea of how much I've spent in the year, and I can switch to my company and have an idea of how much I've entered, how much is paid as salary. No, we don't pay salary. We only pay casual. We only pay them casually based on the job. We pay what do they call it now? Wages are. So that's justice. But I needed to show us so that we can have an idea of how that works. So thank you so much for following. Let me see if there are other questions because we need to start wrapping up. Okay, somebody said he's not hearing my voice again, but he's just looking at the screen. Okay, no problem. Okay, the name of the app is Spending. Let me see if I can write it. But I will do a screenshot of the app, as in the. I wish I can do it here, but the function is not here. I will send it to everybody. So that's just it. So the app helps me to know where my money is going. Then it puts me on my toes to know what I need to do to make more money. It helps me to just know, okay, money is already going. You know. I'm sure a lot of us know the situation of Nigeria now, the crazy bill, NEPA bill. They'll just give you a bill and tell you it's 10,000. So those things actually put a lot of it puts me on my toes and make me understand that I need to make money. Okay, for example, I told you my landlord collects rent every 3 months, like the whole year divided to 4. So that alone puts me on my toes. If I'm to pay for a whole year, I like it. But because I have to be paying him bit by bit, it's a whole lot. It's not that I can't even keep the whole money somewhere and divide into 4, but sometimes you know how it's not that. Because if you need something else to do with your money, you just take it over there. And that's just it. So for a financial plan, it's good to keep record, know how much. It takes discipline to put everything. In fact, I make sure I don't sleep until I enter every amount I spent, how much came in. By tomorrow now, I'll be streaming event for my I call him senior colleague, my guy. The money may not come in the same day. And of course, tomorrow and next. The money may not come in the same day, but I tell you, once the money comes in, I record it in the right place. And when they say, okay, when I'm streaming events and for the company directly, the money comes in. If we rent camera, we put the amount. If we bought petrol, we put the amount. Like a lot of time I run on Gen 2 like back to back when I'm editing videos, and that reminds me, I just want to encourage us, whatever you're trying to do it, then let's learn more skill. The new year is a year of soft skill, as in it's a year of high income skill. There are a lot of high income skill we can learn. So many, maybe I'll list some of them and send to you so that I don't take your time. There's a lot we can learn and can start making money. Honestly, I didn't know I'll be making from the things I do for free. I do with passion before now, until recently I just took it serious. You will not believe that, okay, the new business has been sustaining me more than even the old, and I've not really been putting more attention into the old ones like before. So I still do it, but I mean, and while I'm still at the second business, I'm still thinking of new business to do, passive income that can bring money while I sleep. I've written books, and one of the things I'm working on is to put the book on Amazon. When I wrote the book, I actually did everything in Corel Draw. And for Amazon, it's good that your books are in Microsoft Word, and you now convert it, making Kindle version, all those stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I'm already working on it so that I have my books on Amazon. I start making passive income. Those are the things, you just think of what you can do. You can be a virtual assistant or somebody somewhere. You can just look for a solution. And of course, just like I said, there are people doing what we are doing already. Just think of what you can do to also help them. Then let's try and ensure that we are reaching out. Let's be deliberate. Yeah, let's be deliberate about reaching out to people. Like anytime I want to connect with somebody, the only thing that is always my concern is sorry, we spent 4 minutes extra. I need to wrap up now. The only thing that is my concern is Facebook has something they call mutual friends. Now, there was somebody I was trying to connect with. In fact, not just there are several people, so many people, but I observed that it was easier to connect with the ones I connected with because they were mutual friends. Not just I'm not talking about Facebook. So there was this guy and another lady that actually sent a DM to, and I sent a DM to them, and it was actually a little bit tough getting them up. I'm actually streaming on YouTube anyway. The recording stopped when my laptop went off. So sorry, but I think from YouTube we can extract something. So I observed that I sent a DM, and I think it took a little while. She responded. We kept talking. Then the other guy, guys easily respond, and guy to guy. But when you're trying to chat somebody, the lady is an event planner, you want to introduce your business or you want to sell something or something, it's not always easy, especially when it has to do with sliding people's DM. So I sent a DM. She didn't. She responded after a while. I had to introduce myself because it got to a point. I actually took the bold step of saying, okay, can I get your number? And she was like, I don't even know you. So I introduced myself. But she didn't still give my number. She didn't give me her number. But the guy gave me his own number. Well, maybe guy. Now, but as soon as I mentioned the name of somebody that she knew, so I was now telling her that this person, we are friends in OAU, blah, 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 this and that. Before I even finished speaking, she just sent her number on Instagram DM, and we continue the conversation on WhatsApp again. So I'm talking about being deliberate. Sometimes we have to go all out, DM people, reach out to them, because sometimes the online space has actually removed the barrier. So anybody you want to connect with, DM them. They are doing something you want to do, DM them. They have events, try to volunteer, just be a part of what they are doing. Like my senior friend I'm talking about, who is my boss, is an award-winning wedding cinematographer. He's a Sony ambassador. So you understand. So, and a lot of people always look forward to meeting him. And I was lucky to have actually met him in church. And I tried as much as possible every time to be loyal. If he invites me to events, even he will pay normally, but the amount he will pay me, I won't collect. In fact, if someone else calls me for that kind of event, I will not show up. Okay, you can imagine that. Personally, you do events. You know how much you collect. Maybe the amount your senior colleague or your boss or someone like you see as a role model, or maybe they will not even pay you at all. The amount they will even pay you will be like tight. Don't worry, keep doing it. And when you keep doing it, you can always leverage. You know that sometimes I will have events, big events, is the one that will come to the rescue. I will rent this equipment, but the amount I will rent not the same amount I would have rented it outside. I'm just using that as an example. So we need to leverage, we need to build relationship. In fact, some imagine you equipment that normally if just one mixer, someone will tell you to go and print it. And because you have a boss that has all this equipment, and because it doesn't have event that day, and because you are loyal, the only equipment itself may not cost you more than 50K. But if you have to rent outside, you rent the mixer, 50K, you rent cable, let's say 5K each for those long cable, SDI cable. You rent recorder 5K, you rent this screen, you rent maybe a display monitor, you rent an encoder if you want to live stream, you rent a lot of other things. So that's why relationship is so powerful. We must leverage on relationship, and that's just what I have to share for now. Since there are no more questions, I really want to appreciate every one of us for being a part of this. Thank you so much for your feedback. I'm so glad that we were able to do this by God's grace. I look forward to, with your support anyway, I look forward to doing more of this. It's not actually a lot very easy, but we always create time to see how we can share. But I wish we can make it more interactive, but it's like a lot of us don't want to say anything. We are shy, blah blah blah. But I really enjoyed myself. At least I'm able to share some things, and some of the things I've shared and I've learned from some of us too are things that I'm also working on too myself. I'm not there yet. I'm still in progress. Just needed to share some vital things. Then there's one app I will also share with you. It's a Microsoft app. Because of time, I will not do screen sharing again. I will just screen grab the stuff, send to you. It helps you to create tasks. You can create a task and you can mark it if you have done it, if you have not done it. Okay, I need to be somewhere. You know, as part of goal setting, it's good that you create tasks. Because when you set goals, you must put them down. You must, so that you don't forget. You can set the tasks. Okay, like today now, I edited a video for my church service. I have to search for the video, edited it, make it ready. I've ticked that. Then the next thing is, okay, tomorrow morning I have to upload it. I will tick that. Then I have to prepare for my event, tick that. I have to do my laundry. Before this event, some of my clothes were inside my washing machine. I also tick that, okay, done. Because when we're able to tick it, we're able to really mark our progress. Every aspect of our life is good that we document, we tick it. That way we can know our progress, we know how we're doing, we know what we need to improve on, and we know areas that we need help in. With this few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince and not to confuse you. I hope I've been able to share some things on our mind. Let's keep the conversation going. I'm available. You can ask me questions. Someone said I should send the link to the public search. Okay, no problem. I will send you a link. But apart from that, you need to, of course, you need to have an account with them before you. I think before you can access, or I will check if you need to, if you can access without even checking their for CAC and so many things like that. So I will make sure we keep the conversation going. If there are questions, please feel free to ask. I want to sign out now. So thank you so much for being a part of this. It's been a wonderful experience for me. Do have a great night rest. All of us resuming work tomorrow. I wish you all the best. I wish you favor from God in everything that we lay our hands on. Thank you so much. Do have a great night. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being a part of this. God bless you real good. God bless you real good. Bye for now. Thank you.